Welcome. This is Barry Jones from Angelic Wisdom, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for May 30th through June 5th, 2022. So before we begin, I'd just like to welcome everyone and thank you for returning to this weekly series. And I'd like to also welcome and thank anyone who's joining our Angelic Wisdom community for the very first time. So just a few things. First of all, if you haven't subscribed, please make sure that you do. And if you're already subscribed, make sure that your all notification bell is still selected. And also to like and leave comments at the end after viewing this video. And this helps the channel and it helps the algorithms to also share the information as well. And it allows you to be sure that you're getting constant updates about my channel. And it also helps to connect you with other material on YouTube that might be similar to my own. So it just has a lot of benefits all the way around. And I thank you for your support in advance, and especially for those of you who share. And that is a tremendous support. And just in case, the angel reading, general monthly angel reading for the month of June has already been posted, so you should have been able to see it. If you haven't seen it or it didn't come up in your news feed, go ahead and check out for that. I will try to add a link in this video for it so that everyone can see it. And also I've completed the zodiac readings, but I will be posting them in the next few days, maybe by Tuesday. And so you'll have it this time for the beginning of the month. And let's see, the other thing as well is if you're looking for an angel reading and you feel called to work with me, just a reminder that for this 10th anniversary year on YouTube, I've been offering my first time promotional angel reading, unlimited to everyone. And so that is available to you. There's also my email reading or half-hour reading that's available. So whatever works for you, please check that out. And also, I did post the final logo design. So you haven't seen it, go ahead and check that out. You can find them on my different social media, whatever you call them, right? My different social media accounts, So I think Twitter, I'm not sure if I did though, but I know definitely my Facebook page and here on YouTube. And also, I didn't tell you where to go. So just in case, my current website is theangelschool.com/services, and that's where you can go currently if you want to purchase a reading, and that link is below in the description area. But also eventually my new website will be coming out, and it is going to be angelicwisdom.org. So just to make you aware of that, to kind of get that out there, so that we eventually, if somebody's watching this video, you'll in the future you'll know. Okay, so let's take a deep breath. And just really connecting with your I am presence and your higher self. And just allow your attention to be placed on your heart chakra. And this is so very, very important, as this is the way that God's love and the angels flows through you and embraces you. So your heart chakra will automatically open up every time that you place your attention there. And just feel the warmth and the expansion of your heart chakra as it just opens up to envelop your entire energy fields and etheric bodies. And so the angels are showing me a tree, and it's interesting because they wrote the word love as well. So we'll see what they're possibly speaking about in that manner. But the sense that I get with the tree, the trunk of the tree, kind of is a moderate size, and it sort of started to narrow at the, and as it narrows at the top, that's where your connection begins, where the branches for me represent the higher consciousness, that realm. So it's not something I often see, but it's telling me, it's sort of almost like when that happens, it can create sort of a bottleneck, right, in your alignment with source. So for some reason, you towards the, in terms of your ground with the earth and that connection, that's more open. So you might want to create a little bit more of a awareness around the balance between being very earth foundational, and then having that source or higher consciousness foundation. So you maybe had to sort of switch gears, or maybe you've not been able to commit to your meditations or any your spiritual practice that sort of helps you to connect in with your angels and your higher self. I'm just getting a thought about, a guardian angel. And this might be one of those opportunities for you to really connect in with your guardian angel. And they're writing oxygen in front of me, so that they're, talking about, for me, that's a symbolic of just breathing, right? And taking the time to breathe. And they're writing that there are some fears that are very huge for you that might come up, or that is triggering you in some way. And I get a sense that you really need to really communicate more closely with your guardian angel, but also be aware that you're safe and you're protected. Your guardian angel carries your divine blueprint, and your guardian angel is very intimately communicating with you. We might not always perceive it, but we are aware of those messages because we hear them within ourselves, within our souls, within our hearts. We hear these little messages that are kind of guiding us to go in one direction or another. Kind of lovingly guiding us, protecting us. When you have a sense that you shouldn't go that way, like that's your guardian angel. Now, there are times when your soul will say that this is a challenge that's coming up that you must go through. Your guardian angel will then step back and respect your soul for the reason and purpose that this needs to happen in your life. And the thing is, remember that everything is always happening for the greater good. and it's always happening for your best interest. So there's something that has a lesson that you need to learn, or something that you need to open your eyes to, or a situation will provoke an opening in your awareness, a shift in your consciousness, so that those changes, that you can be more in alignment with the changes that your soul is leading you towards. And I don't know why I just saw the word sacrifice, but um, the context is what I'm not quite clear about. But they wrote the word silence afterwards. And sometimes, you know, I guess it feels like to be silent, to connect in with your higher self, and to take that time to listen, can seem like a sacrifice to the things that we feel we're required to do in our everyday lives. Okay, and so we don't know how to make that compromise. What we're being asked, what our soul is asking us to do, seems like a sacrifice. I guess that's the way they're putting it. But it is something that you need to trust your guidance, and trust that they understand what's unfolding and what would be best for you in that moment. And they would never lead you to be irresponsible. They're never going to encourage you to give up something, like, as if to something that you care about. They're not going to tell you to throw up your hands, or to give up, or to sacrifice it. But there must be a better opportunity. There must be something better for you, that something more deserving of you, that they are trying to open your eyes to see it. So in this week, if it feels like the world is pulling you in many different directions, and there are so many things doing that, there's so many things happening in the world that can just throw us off and make us leave us feeling hopeless and distraught. And sometimes life can just seem to lose meaning when we see very senseless things happen to people who are just completely innocent, or innocent ones. Sort of like some of the things that we've seen in this past week with the, especially here in America, in our country, in Texas, with the school shootings. So in those moments, really listen to your heart, and speak to your angels, your guardian angel, and ask them to help you, not only to understand, but to understand your purpose that is being provoked through all the events that are unfolding, not only globally, but within your own life. And they ask you to have compassion towards yourself, to have some compassion towards yourself. And they're not saying that our human emotions and that wide range of feelings that we might all be feeling at this time are inappropriate. None of your feelings are ever inappropriate. But what do those feelings, in those moments of your rage or anger, what is consciously coming to the forefront of your mind as a purpose, that of service? And what small way can you play your part to not only make your life better, but to help make life better for others, and to help bring about change in areas where we see things that we know are not of God and not loving. And how can we find that solution and bring them about? And sometimes we want to do something big, but it's really the small things that we can do and that we end up eventually doing that can make a tremendous difference. And um, and then being aware of how, within your community you can come together and create change. And and so that keeps expanding. And with the internet and social media, we have access to a variety of communities, and we have access to the global community. And so trust your heart, trust your gifts that are being opened up through what we're experiencing in these times. Okay, so let's take a look at the archangel that we're working with for the month. Okay, and it actually is the guardian. This is the only card. It was interesting that she placed this card in the deck. This is the guardian angel card. So, love yourself unconditionally. Ask for help. So, this is right now, your guardian angel sees you in a way that we often we struggle to see ourselves. We criticize ourselves so much, and we criticize each other. And what the angels want you to do is to love unconditionally in the way that they love us, the way that God loves us. Because that is the path towards healing and our path towards oneness. And it is a very difficult thing to love those who enrage us, right? Or irritate us or frustrate us. It's very hard. And within ourselves, we do it to ourselves. So this is the thing about judgment. Even though we can sit around and find ways to justify our opinions and the way we feel, but the thing is that judgment is always going to reflect back to us, because the relationships in this earth school are all mirrors. We're all mirrors to each other. So a person once said to me, the only relationship you're having is the relationship you're having with yourself. And it's sort of like the way we analyze dreams, that every part of the dream is just a reflection, a mirror of yourself. And so let me just say it this way first. So in loving others unconditionally, you create this dynamic of loving yourself unconditionally because of that mirror. Every relationship is a mirror. And the good that is the potential of good, the power, the spiritual power that exists in each and every one of us, is hindered by our inability to practice compassion and unconditional love for others. And what I'm trying to say is that the biggest sacrifice of not being able to do so is placed on yourself. You sacrifice your own potential each and every time that we are not able to, and I want to say because we're not perfect, right? And that is also what makes us perfect. It's our imperfections that are our greatest perfections. But we our awareness and our every attempt to do our best will, and they're writing self-esteem, to be able to love others unconditionally, boost your own self-esteem, because what you're creating is a reality of unconditional love for yourself. And if you're practicing this in others, you know truly well how to practice this within yourself. And you will liberate your light. You will liberate your light and your talents and your gifts. You will liberate yourself from fear. This is what the path of unconditional love is about. Liberating yourself from your ego, which is your fears and the illusions. And what you're holding yourself back from, what we're all holding ourselves back from, is we see problems in the world, but we can't see the solutions because we're too deeply attached and involved in the outcomes. So, how do you say this? I guess I don't like to talk about politics too much, but I'm just going to use this as an example. So, unfortunately, politicians are put in a position of needing funds, right? And so they have these lobbyists and donors and so forth. And so they're beholden to them in some way. And in the same vein, this is what I mean when we don't practice compassionate, unconditional love, because that allows us to detach. It liberates our light, and what we're doing is we are fully being self-reliant on source, our inner being, and not so much on the outer reality to be a certain way in order for us to find peace. We can go within and find that peace. And so when we will liberate ourselves in this way, when we practice this, then now solutions can come to us that can just clear a path. So when we are not so invested in the outcomes that your ego will present to you as the biggest risk to your security, to your stability in your life, it will prevent you. So your ego is sort of like the lobbyist in a sense, and it prevents you from taking certain steps to express your true oneness. That's to say, to be your authentic self. That is what we find so difficult, is to be our authentic self, because we are afraid of the judgment that we project out into that outer world, or that we give our attention to and validate, because we're not practicing compassionate, unconditional love. And unconditional love means that you don't rely on conditions to dictate the choices and decisions that you make. Now, we're all in that trap. But the point that your guardian angel wants you to understand, the only reason you're in that trap is because you are not fully liberating your light and living in a state of pure love, unconditional love, which would detach you from the lobby of your ego, trying to get you to focus on the material and feel beholden to it, and feeling like it's your foundation, that it's your source. I mean, this is what sort of idolatry really is on an energetic level. Your ego is not your source. And the material things and how they come into your life and leave your life is not your source. It is not the source within you. The light of God within you is the source of all those things. And they are, and that generosity is unlimited. And all we have to do, yes, is to sacrifice that conditional type of love and surrender to this unconditional love. And our light will be liberated, our hearts will be liberated, our minds will be liberated, our consciousness, and therefore we will have complete freedom to choose from the vastness and limitedness of opportunities and solutions, inspired ideas that the source, God, is always offering to you on any path that you choose to pursue. All right. So I hope that makes sense. I hope it doesn't sound like I'm rambling. And that's my judgment in the moment. But it's new information. It's hard to kind of get out because I've never really thought about it myself in this way. But this is an important, I feel like that this card comes up. I never get this card, the Guardian Angel card. And I feel like what your guardian angel is trying to do is trying to help you to align with its heart and its mission, and to bring you closer to your divine blueprint. That is to say, your pure essence. To trust this pure essence. When you do, you will find peace. And when you have peace, you will have clear communication. And when you have clear communication, change is natural and not frightening. So here we have the Temperance card. And this is really about balance. So your guardian angel isn't saying to you, you got to change your ways like today, or it's just, that's the end of it. And they're writing yes. What they're asking you to do is to do this, make this a process. Think about this as a starting. And you start by expanding your awareness. At first, you might have to just observe the mirror. You know what I mean? And one way to do that is those people who irritate you, usually it's because you're focused upon something that you have judged within yourself or you don't like. And then when you give attention to something that you don't like, even whether or not it's something you do or something that you've seen, but you keep giving your attention to it, it will keep showing up in different people. It will also show up in a person that you have an intimate awareness of. And what we tend to do is our love doesn't grow deeper in these relationships, but our opinions and our judgments and our criticism get bigger because we start seeing things, and this is just the awareness. Do you see things? When you see something, do you go, this is beautiful, or do you see things that need to be fixed? Now, your angels don't judge this, because in either way, these could be gifts or they could be hindrances, right? That you just see everything is wonderful, which means you could be on a sort of reversal energy. You could be you could be ignoring signs of things that you need to see. And likewise, somebody who's always seeing things that's not working, that needs to be fixed, that person might have a great skill of knowing how to fix those things and bring it into harmony and balance with what needs to be. So we're not, see, you see, the thing is, they can always see both sides of everything, because there is this possibility through unconditional love, you see. But the thing is that they want you to start just by being aware, and to understand that when in a relationship with someone that irritates you, that because you choose to focus on that, and it's like the this boulder, just, that's not the right expression, but it's like this thing in your paw, right? You just can't get past it. So therefore, every time you interact with them, that aspect of them is triggered, because their mirror is focused upon those things within you that is causing that to be triggered. So until you see and focus on another aspect of them, until you find a way to love something that you do like about them, and something that you can respect, then you will not trigger a different response from them, because they're just mirroring, again, what you're projecting. They're mirroring it back to you. So in this awareness piece, in order to create balance, just be aware of, are there other alternatives, ways of connecting with this person, of finding common ground. And the only way to find that is to find something, what you're looking for when you're looking for this in somebody else, that is something that is coming from you, even that. But you have to have that within yourself. You have to be able to have that unconditional love within yourself in order to be able to recognize it somewhere else. But over time, you will develop this practice. And that's the balance that needs to happen. Don't go out and, um, make it a competition to be the most compassionate, unconditionally loving person, and you cannot, because it's difficult. This is trying to reverse a practice that, that everybody around you is practicing the opposite of this. So this is going to take time, and just be aware of any amount of awareness that enlightens you about, or shows you patterns and ways, or that you're able to sort of thwart that initial reaction and shift it. Anything that you're able to do is success. Now here we have the Sage of Cups, which is the King of Cups, and this is somebody who, I love to say, this card is comfortable in their own skin. I mean, that's where their foundation of peace comes from. So the work that you really want to focus on is being comfortable with who you are. And that means your perfections and your imperfections. That you understand your wiring. And that, what you might consider your strengths and your weaknesses, but your weaknesses are a part of your wiring. I mean, they make you who you are. And if your perception of them as a weakness is what is keeping them from being able to be a key player or key asset in your spiritual development. So what you have to do is turn it into an asset. Because, we're all whole in truth. And what we perceive as light and dark within us, they're both assets. But you have to appreciate what you consider your shadow or your weakness. Once you find an appreciation for it and see how it fits and weaves into the whole of who you are, that totally makes you unconditionally and treasured by the universe, then all aspects of you will light up together. So that finding peace within yourself, being authentic and true to being true to yourself, expressing yourself without fear. This is the practice that will really truly help you to reconnect with your guardian angels, with the universe, and all the clear knowing and understanding that you need to help guide you through life. All right, and so we have the Two of Wands, and there's a sense of, with this card, that you are looking, and I just feel here, take your time, right? So this is a card where you see this, you're looking at the possibilities, you see the potential paths that you might be able to pursue. And here we see that this path, it winds, there's no straight path to anything. So what this gives me a sense of, don't let yourself be held back just because something isn't clear cut. You are the opportunity. See, that's the whole thing about conditional reality versus unconditional reality, that you're waiting for the conditions to be right. Maybe you say to yourself, well, this has too many squiggly lines, so I'm going to pass on that. And you say, but in that, well, yeah, that has too many squiggly lines too. I'm looking for something straight. And the thing is that straight path might never exist. And it might be that the path will straighten up once you get on the path, once you trust the path, and your conditions are unconditional, that you don't need it to look a certain way or be a certain way for you to get the best out of the situation, because you bring the light, you bring, you bring it to the table every time, and you can pull it out of the hat, pull it out of your heart easily, because when you're being true to yourself, and when you're getting in that practice of compassion and unconditional love towards yourself, then you have more self-acceptance, and this just liberates you, and you don't see the world through it's not that you won't see pros and cons, but you don't fear any of this, because it's sort of like my grandmother used to say, take what you got and make what you want. So in the most dire situations, you can find something and make it what you want. You just deal with what you have and turn it into what you can, or what you would like. So that kind of energy. All right, so let's take a look at the card I've already pulled from the bottom of the deck. And this is the Ace of Coins. And I love this hand. The hands are throughout here. And it's like a divine hand. It's from the Divine Mother aspect, right? And that she's giving you an opportunity. She's giving you an opportunity. And this might be financial, or it might be something work-related. Maybe you, I don't know why I'm saying the word compound, but it might be a couple of things coming together that provides this opportunity. For maybe there's a new promotion, or there is another job on the side, or some other kind of thing that comes together that kind of helps you to create some of the funds that you might need. So it's just being open. And, again, think about it. Abundance flows when you can really not just look at the conditions. When your heart's liberated, then your access to anything that you need is also possible and easier. So make sure that if an opportunity comes, and I almost feel like they're going to present an opportunity to you to see if you can not be attached to certain outcomes, certain conditions, but that you're open to the inspiration and the empowerment that you feel. And do you believe, have faith that if something feels right to you, if it's something you've really been yearning for, that no matter how predictable the path looks to possibly be challenging, that you are willing to rely on your inner guidance to provide the solutions and the alternatives for at the right moment, at the right time, to that, and that you can totally shift that prospect, um, by just being truly connected to your inner soul and heart. All right, so I send you lots of love and angel blessings, and have a beautiful week. God bless you.